trying to think of a different teaching that's different. So Taj teach how to navigate the contract, what the words mean, how do you use this in law. This is the understanding of how civics work. Now remember, Noble Drew Ali said, I can't take these people out of power till you learn how to run your own government. The study of civics is teaching you how they run in their government, and it's supposed to trigger you to remember that this ain't the government of your people. This not how we run government. Our government, like for instance, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, if it was being properly ran by our people, the first question of any research done is, how will it affect the children? That's the first question. If I give this to this mother, how will it affect her children? And any negative effects on that, we can't use that. We can't do that. Well, they have something under the corporation called acceptable loss. It's a way to benefit using insurance to pad your losses, to turn your losses into wins. So what's an apparent loss to them is actually a payout. So they trade birth certificates and death certificates. Mm-hmm. They capitalizing off our birth joy and off our death tragedy.
I went to the GMEI utility site and put the Social Security assigned to me number in, and the Social Security number assigned to my mother, who transitioned in 2002. And to this day, it was just maybe a few days ago, maybe last week, that birth certificate is still being traded on all over the world. I noticed some of the ones in like Dusseldorf have become inactive. It was funny, but all over the world, I mean, there might be like, maybe it was like either 1,100 or 11,000 transactions, 1,100, that are still active. And she transitioned in 2002. I have now, about
somebody in your family, she gonna come back as. The clock of destiny is the way that you track when she coming back and who she gonna be. They already know how to use it. So the death certificate is a countermeasure to the birth certificate. It keeps the birth certificate able to continuously be being traded until it's switched out with the new birth certificate on the return of the elder.
Really?
Yeah, they good with that shit. That's part of their Babylonian money magic system. They generate money out of thin air because we breathe life into the air when we exhale.
So is there money out of thin air? Is that like the mints that are just printing so-called money, like it's monopoly stuff, just new games, new money. Is that how they're doing it?
Right. So that's so that they can steal the value without you ever knowing what they're doing, using something called inflation. This is done under what they call fractional reserve banking. Under fractional reserve banking, they can borrow $100 from you, and then they use it for collateral to borrow $100,000 or $1 million off that 100. Right now, because you put $100 in your bank account, they can lend $100,000 out.
And that's why they get a little seem to have they get testy when you want to take it out.
Right, because when you take out your money, they have to cash in a bond. Okay. And when they have to cash in the bond, if it isn't matured yet, a penalty comes with it. And let's say the mortgage fraud. So all of the banks are going to be seized for mortgage fraud and for usury. Excessive interest on the dollar.
Right.
Right. You're not supposed to charge interest on a direct loan. You're only supposed to charge interest on what they call a third-party loan. That means if I have you borrow some money from somebody, in order to lend me some money, you have to charge me interest.
Okay.
I'm the third party. That means that you giving me a fee to use your credit, a cosigner. Right? So that's how you're supposed to do interest. But they have the inflation. The inflation is affected by the interest rate. You remember when Greenspan was in the Fed? He used to be over here every year readjusting the interest rate.
Right.
That was saying how much you're gonna be able to buy with a single dollar. You remember when bread was a quarter a loaf?
I remember when it was cheap.
I bet you can't find one for under $1.
Oh, yeah, I don't think you can find one for $1. I don't think, maybe let's try like not one under two.
Right. So that's inflation.
Mhm.
Everything on top of that original quarter is inflation. The
Because if
great
it's a quarter then and it was for the same amount and whatever, it really should still be that.
right.
But what they've
So they
done now, they have reduced the sizes of things and increased
of galactic law, when you discover an injustice, you report it to the people to determine if they want to remain in the injustice or if they want the justice to prevail over the injustice. So this is why we always have to put it in the public domain, and the paperwork becomes irrelevant. This oral tradition preceding the paperwork tradition. And Noble Drew Ali say, no, for a surety, you are what your forefathers were without a doubt or a contradiction. And Elijah Muhammad say, go back to what your forefathers done. We was an oral tradition, so that means putting it in the public domain is how we made our presence felt among the people. Then when we discover any anomaly that negatively affects every clan, then we have the obligation to inform as many clans who's willing to listen to the problem that comes with a solution. The solution that I'm telling the people right now is that we have to destroy this old system so that our system can be restored. When our system of matriarchy is restored, cleaning off parts of the land to take care of and reclaim. If the land got to be cleansed, we got to have purity rituals held on the land from the blood spilling and the bloodletting rituals they done all over the land. All of these murders and slaughters that they've done over the years have a negative residual energy that affects us. All of the people don't have to be aware, but the ones who understand it is obligated to explain it to the ones nearest to them in terms they can understand of what's taking place on the land. So my job by default became the person that's running through the communities, telling all of the tribes similarly situated, which happens to be all 500 in North America, and some change, and they all have to agree to overthrow the old system, and then the old system goes away. So the question you asked me earlier about Malachi, he's in continuity of government. He has to be there because he has one of the largest tribes on the land, right? Farrakhan has to be there. They can't not be there. If the government is going to revert back to us, our leadership has to be there, which includes those political prisoners that we mentioned earlier, all have to be there. And this is all taking place in real time. It's just that the people are stuck on this narrative of the old system, trying to hold on to his last few sips of power. So now they cup is empty. I'm about to slap that motherfucker off the table because I want my sisters to get their shit back. Mama said, don't let nobody take nothing from my brothers and sisters. And they got first right to the rights to the earth. So if we gonna fix the problem, you put it everything where it properly go, it'll run the way it's supposed to run, and you don't got to micromanage everything.
Right.
You ain't got to worry about it. Just put the most qualified person to lead the position in the current conditions. I might not be qualified to lead this charge in 10 years because my qualifications might have exhausted themselves by doing certain work. But somebody else gonna come along behind me and say, this is how we take what you was doing to the next level. right? So
Right.
we taking it to the next level, and the highest level we can take it is to the grand matriarch in order to restore balance to the land. And we all know who that is
And
because
I
I done
like
told
what
you.
you said. I like what you're saying, Rob, because you're not saying that you are the end, the be all, and the end all. But for this season, you are doing the work that you've been assigned. For me, for this season,
Yeah,
I'm doing the work that I was assigned. And just like you said about Grand Sheik, we get to a place where we need to be able to get to a place where, as we become elders, that we can relax from that, because there are a younger a crew coming in that should be preparing themselves to take a leadership role and to let the elders be revered and let the younger then to me do the heavy lifting. I'm hoping that somebody will come and take over. I do so much when it comes to the House of Reawakening Minds from the standpoint of the day to day. Is me. It's the calls. It's the creating the this. It's the can do it. I mean, Grand Sheik and I basically work together, but he does what he does when he comes here and talks, and he does work if work needs to be done in the building. But when it
hmm
comes to the mechanics of things, this is no huge organization, but it's a huge responsibility to a very broad spectrum of people. So it has to be done with some level of professionalism and precision. Even though we have these technical things, these are things that we got to get beyond. But we take seriously the work. We take seriously the fact that we've been put in this position for this time to be a connector. Knowing that somebody else is going to come along and pick up the baton at some point, and they need, and it needs to be a smooth transition. That's what we need to be doing,
yeah.
preparing those to come up and take the baton.
So when people will be asking me, how can I um, not promote myself as higher based on my knowledge? I learned from Chancellor Williams that he gonna always be a greater teacher than me because he taught me. So the greater I become, the greater that make him. I taught from Taj, right? So the greater I become in the application of civics is a testimony of the greatness of Taj. I
Absolutely.
can't never overshadow them. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants who stood on the shoulders of giants. I'm just a midget that could see the furthest. That's how I see it. So
Yeah.
all of them that did the work before me laid the foundation for my work to be able to be functional and usable. Because I'm not usable if I don't have something to use. And anything that don't have something to use and that's not usable is open to be misused. And that's why they don't like to conjure me up.
Mm. Well, I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did. We're glad they did. Many of us are. Like I said, love you or hate you. It doesn't matter. You came here to do a job, and you're doing it. And whether whether have folks, whether you smoke a cigarette or whatever else you smoke, whatever, or you curse or say words that are whatever they feel like it might be cuss. You're not cursing. Cuss words. Um, that's your mannerism. I
And that's part of rebellion.
Okay.
Because like I said, being politically correct and the politics are not correct is being insane. So to use the profanity, to be cussing, is to be belligerent to the improper politics being imposed on our people.
I get
So any politician that I don't hear say motherfucker, I ain't trying to hear it.
it.
He can't be politically correct and be about what's right. It's incompatible in this system because the politics is not correct. Because there's
Right.
too many people suffering and struggling trying to get a better day from a sour lemon that they don't have enough sugar to make lemonade with. Because somebody stole their sugar that they had the first right to before they even seen it. So now they can't even make sugar out of the lemon. I mean, lemonade out of the lemons. So now they just got some squeezed lemon water.
Right. And there's some things, even I'm sure I know like there's things I know, Grand Sheik, we know that we are not at liberty to speak freely, in these venues like this. And that's another reason, and that's a good segue. That's another reason why up close and personal we'll call up close and personal, because that's when we get to, no cameras. And, I'm sure there are folks that sneak and put their little recorder on to hear things, but no cameras. And we're able to speak freely on the things that need to be conveyed, so that we use the oral tradition again and start. Once you learn something, if it resonates with you, then you take it, and when you get home you share it, and let somebody else, so we can pass that knowledge on. So for those of you who want to come and see myself, Grand Sheik, Brother Dave, Mother Kai, Dr. Britannica, other folks, and there are other folks. 3 days, 3 whole days of coming together. The third day is a holistic wellness fair, and we're going to be raffling over like $4,000 worth of wonderful merchandise. The biggest raffle prize is a $2,000 2,000 note, whatever, BioCrystal Sleep M queen size mattress topper, which is amazing, and some other sleep in products and other, we have a bunch of stuff, but that's the biggest of it. Somebody's going to win it, whether they're here or not. That's the wonderful thing. We will actually, if you can't come, we just have straight up 25 note donations for our fundraiser raffle ticket, and you get a chance to win. And if you in California, we'll ship it to you. We'll still ship you the queen size mattress topper if you're not here. Or if you win and you're here and you came on a plane, we'll still ship it. You know what I mean? So we want you to come out and be with us on that weekend. We're going to have a wonderful time.
What's the dates again?
August 26th, 27th, 28th.
Okay.
26th,
7 days after my father's birthday. My father's birthday the 21st.
Okay.
So it's 7 days to the day after my father's birthday.
21st.
But this is the thing that we need to be looking for coming up, because it's
Wilmington, Delaware. Somebody asked what part of Delaware. Wilmington, Delaware. I'm gonna put the thing up. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ron.
So while you do that, put the address and stuff up for the people.
Oh, you talk and I'll just put this up and they can just see the banner.
So what we need to be looking for to transpire, because we on the verge of a total economic collapse in what we call the Americas. The economy is on its final leg. Also, we need to be looking for public exposure of the election fraud being revealed with hardcore, irrefutable evidence. That all got to come out. All of that's going to lead up to the restoration of the matriarchy and reorganizing of the matriarchs across the land in order to properly administer government. Because we know how to do this now. So Noble Ali did his job. He gave Taj his mission. He done his job. C. Freeman Hill done his job metaphysically. Charles Mosley Bay gave us this clock of destiny to look at. So they all doing a part. So one of us from the land got to tie all of the pieces together across the red and the blue in order to get to Big Mama house on the black and gold, which is the coals for the furnace that we used to use to burn in her living room, and the gold, which we use to do trade among the tribes. So we getting back to the wealth of the land, which is the substance, and not the debt of the land, which is the slave system, right? So these things are imminent. They coming. I don't know what's going to be the straw or the grand exposure of it, but you have to see it coming, because all of the indicators is saying that it can happen any day. Then Trump gave a whole lecture on the election steal the night that I left to go perform my functions for Big Mama, which was oddly timed enough to get my attention. And he was talking about there is no way that the American people are going to continuously be subjugated by these frauds. So that's where we at with it. That's what's coming.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not. You're still there. I got one. The banner that's running now is kind of like big. It's showing my thing. It's showing that state stuff that was showing the nanostatic glutathione and the stuff that I spray on my face. That's making me look a little bit younger for 67.
You know what the irony of this picture is? It's got a lot of simple. I read every picture like a tarot card.
Okay. So
and
what you said?
The before no makeup picture. Right. I can't see the full hand symbols, but it looked like your hands are crossed.
I think it's kind of up to my throat.
No. That's your left hand. That's your hand on your breast.
Right.
Right. And then, so this is the secrets out in the open. That's the same as with Noble Ali telling us he put the secrets in the public domain. And then the 40 days later, have you smiling in the gold, and black and gold is Big Mama house. But the background is blue. That means the blue house. So you was already preloaded to give the report at the right time so the people can know it. And the new me, I gotta find out about that. So I'm gonna be looking into that because the new me is a homonym for the new me. And
The
you
new
looking
me.
at, yeah. So the old me versus the new me. That's the
Yeah,
transformation message from Big Mama. The old earth becomes the new earth.
absolutely. Well, let me take that off. Well, I oops. I'm like I said, I have to figure out all the things I'm doing, you know. But yeah, so it's just wonderful, to be unmade. I used to I would not dream of coming on camera without some makeup to cover little spots and some eyeshadow and some mascara and lipstick and cheek. I was like, nah. I'm learning to love the skin I'm in, and it's helping me, clear it up and you know be happy with who I am. You know what I mean? This is me.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
what
me.
facilitates the glow too.
Yes. And so you guys can have the same thing. Of course, in between that and chokeberry and sleep am and all of that stuff, we got a little bit of we got mattresses with 16 crystals and